Hey everybody, this is Dr. Jesse Jackson III, best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'Em Out book and training series. And we're talking about aggressive behavior, behaviors that go physical. And I believe it's time that we have some clarity on these things because I'm working with districts and helping them to redo a lot of behavior policies, helping schools to redo that. And when we sit down, I find it just almost, it's alarming. Typically, you sit down and you have a superintendent, a school board there, and things like that. You have the lawyer there, right? And then you might have some law enforcement. I find that with the increase in school suspension bans nationwide, where states take the initiative to ban suspension, they don't let you ban suspensions when there's a high population of special ed children. I find it very troubling that we don't really understand the physicality dynamic. We understand what was intended by banning suspensions, right? I wrote Don't Kick 'Em Out. I like to take full responsibility for the suspension ban nationwide, right? They took my research, they took my literature, they took my research decade and change ago, in 2006, 2007, when I was saying this and I was adamant about it. They took it and made their version of it. And now, years later, we have a suspension ban. When I said don't kick them out, it was based on the behaviors and the referrals that I were reading. What I was reading was absolutely foolishness to be removing children from school. And what it really came down to is that teachers got to learn how to work with kids, talk with kids. Zero tolerance policies are not bad for certain conducts. So what happens in education, we go all the way to the left or all the way to the right. We do not get clear common ground. It's got to be one or the other. So here, let me be the voice of reason, since I am probably one of those, there's probably a handful of others in the world that have rehabilitated people for the conducts you're kicking them out for. Right? Behind that wall, in juvenile, the issues that you are having problems with, that you're putting paper on kids, we've actually rehabilitated. So I understand which behaviors we can change and work with a kid on and the ones you cannot. Always remember safety and security. Non-negotiable. What is going on in our business that people are negotiating with safety? I don't understand. I don't understand what our goal is with that. But let me help us. Number one, look at my behavior management chart, the suspension removal zone. If you follow what I tell you, you will be safe and you will always make the right call. You will do right by the child. You will do right by the environment. When you follow the guidance that you're given, you're going to make the right call. Notice here, the no-fly zone. Look at the staff approach over here. No tolerance. Now, it should be prefaced that my policies change per grade level. So for example, my pre-K to second grade, I have a different set of rules. Now the behaviors are the same, but I have a different approach to how I work with the children. I have a set of rules for pre-K to second. I have a set of rules that we implement from third to fourth. And then from fifth on up, I'm looking at things in a very critical manner. So from fifth to eighth, I'm looking at it a different way. High school, it's what it is. Let's go over the list. You see here fighting, physical altercation. Now what does that mean? That's two willing parties and they're exchanging licks and blows. Now hear me again, at all levels here, we are managing that differently. So you can't just, this is why we got to break this stuff up. I have to have elementary folks come in and we got to have a different talk with administration down there. And then the high school folks, hey, listen, here's a different talk. So fighting, physical altercations, exchanging licks, there is a no tolerance on putting your hands on people. Now that is something, even at the lower levels, we're doing an excessive amount of training and teaching on. We're teaching about it because putting your hands on people will be terminal. You can lose your life for doing it. We have had it happen. Things go bad when kids touch each other, punch and hit. I know of cases where there was one blow exchanged and a kid died by how they hit the ground. This is not the business we were all trained in 20, 30 years ago when we were coming through the ranks. Man, I'm telling you, the rules are different on this stuff. There's cell phones, people taping fights going viral. Now, here's the other flip side to fighting. What if I got staff getting involved, breaking up fights? Everybody knows I just don't want that. That whenever my liability, if someone gets hurt, my liability gets ridiculous and I cannot defend people getting hurt on my watch. Fighting and touching is a non-negotiable. Now, key is we deal with it differently at all levels. That pre-K second, we are teaching our kindergarten, our first grades, we are teaching them not to keep their hands to themselves. We are teaching them not to touch others, and here's why. So we have to train and teach, particularly at that young level. I'm working with those kids to the extent and degree I can. I'm not comfortable with suspending a kindergarten student right now. There has to be some training in there to get them there. However, we are not going to continue to allow kids to hit and hurt other children and staff. So this is where management and the people who do the job, we got to understand those parents that drop them off. Okay, we're going to work with this kid on the certain behaviors, but that hitting, that punching and stuff, we are going to have to get that under control. We cannot just go through this naive. We're just so naive in this game, in this business. We're just like, oh, we got to deal with that. Oh, we have to. Nothing in any of these policies for non-suspension say we do. This is a management thing that we have to have an understanding on. That's why I want to talk to managers. I want to talk to superintendents. I want to talk to central offices. We got to gain some clarity on this stuff because we're seeing this stuff get out of control. That's a whole training about physical aggression and aggressive behavior, hitting and fight. That is an entire training. We spent a whole day on that because we got to gain some understanding because we don't. That policy never said that people can get hurt. It never said you can injure people. And I really want to challenge anyone that think it's okay to let people get hurt. I don't know who's interpreting these rules. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know what the thought process is behind that. But I have had too many situations go bad. And I'm not comfortable with going that direction. You also see here with threats and children who threaten. And they tell you they're going to hurt and kill you. We believe them. I believe you going to do. When I'm from a neighborhood, if somebody say they're going to take your life, within 24 hours, it'll at least be an attempt on your life. It'll be a shoot up of some place they thought you were. That's the neighborhood I'm from. That's my reality. Guys, I'm 45. I'm not, I haven't been around that type of stuff for decades now. I still think that way. It's my thought. If you tell somebody you're going to hurt them, I just believe you're going to do it. So, once again, you can't tell a police officer you're going to kill him without consequence. The police officer's not asking for your IEP, 504. So this is when we talk about aggressive behavior, there must be an aggressive approach and an aggressive movement on our part to teach behavior. There must be behavior schools and behavior classes in every school in the country. You got to teach kids behavior. We have to teach behavior and we have to talk. Rules don't teach. Rules are designed to restrict, but they don't teach. We're under the assumption that people understand, and it's not going to work. Threatening, people just let random stuff come out of their mouth. We're in a time where kids have said they're going to do things and went and did it, but we're naive, hoping they were playing. Guys, people die at school today. This is a disturbed world we live in. Safety, security is not negotiable. Listen, I'm going to work with kids. Now, you look up there at the top, profanity, okay? If a kid loses talking stupid, their mouth is weird and they're curt, okay, I'm gonna work with you. Notice what I said. That's teachable correctly. Okay, willful defiance. You don't like the teacher. You don't like me. You don't like, okay, you got attitude. You're being a jerk. Okay, it's kids going through the up and down of the kids. They're being defiant, anal retentive. I will work with you. We can work with you. We don't like it, but we will work with you. But when we come to these weapons, assaults, sexual misconduct, grabbing girls or boys on their backside, One situation, I got a kid in the bathroom with his business out, taking a urinating on other children. Dude, we got a problem that's not going to fly. That's not kid behavior. That's not, no, something is, stop. I trust what I see. That is not normal. That's not, no, that is going towards juvenile delinquent ideology. Something is wrong and we have to stop you, because those things go bad, and when reported, when taped, the person who will bear the consequence will be that principal. I have had coworkers fired over foolishness. I have had coworkers fired over a mismanaged fight. I've had coworkers fired over a mismanaged weapon and a sexual assault and a mismanaged threat. It has happened. It is real life in this business, and they don't teach us this. So I'm asking you, once again, review your behavior policies and do not tell me what someone told you. As a organization, your behavior policies must mandate student safety. At high school, it's really clear cut. When we start talking about not suspending kids, we were talking about the foolishness that a lot of these kids get written up for not getting along with a teacher. Sauce mouthing. Okay, we need to check it and get that under control. But when we talk about the cutoffs, see, too often in our business, we lump all this stuff together. So a kid will get 3 days for a fight, get 3 days for cursing at a teacher. Okay? I don't want them lumped together. Look at my chart. Superintendents, school boards, administrative cabinets, get in that training room and you get clear on this stuff. You better have a clearer understanding on what to do moving forward. This requires some training. This requires a tough talk. We have to gain clarity on this behavior issue and what our policy says and the days and times that, okay, so suspend what is not going to be tolerated, and then what will be the response. I've had a district that banned fighting and created an extreme policy to discourage it. Well, they're down 100 fights from last year, but there is a movement to try to go back. Right? They're like, well, how could we send a kid to an alternative program for 90 days? Now, we can't do that. Doesn't that seem a little harsh? It seems a little harsh until you watch the fights. It seems, see, I've got tapes. I've got hundreds of tapes of fights that will go really bad. See, ask all the staff that got injured breaking those fights up. Ask all the kids that got hurt in those fights. Jumped on by kids. And we're sitting here talking about, is it too much? I'm going to ask you again. When did we lose sense of safety and security? One thing's never going to happen on my watch. We're not going to lose control of the program. Nobody get hurt at my school. I hope you feel the same way. We've got to take a hard line stand on this. This has to get cleaned up. You can't learn in an environment that there's a threat of a fight every hour. Every hour, the pass hall fight, they're out there, and then I got security running up and down. Then I got teachers jumping in the middle. I had 3 teachers had a broken nose this year. It's 2019, in 2019, not 2018, 2019, this calendar year. Broken nose, breaking up a fight. One's got her joints out in there yanking on the kid. One goes down trying to do the restraint. Listen, that's not what I want. Okay, there's some new demands of this job, but I am saying, when you said rethink discipline, I want us to rethink aggressive behavior and threats. I want us to rethink physical altercations. So rethinking discipline and in terms of punishment policies, no problem. Let's rethink this physical thing because it has went wrong. Phones are involved. There's being taped. People are being taped. This is different. If mismanaged, consequences will be on the principal and administration and the district. And I'm telling you, when you look up at CNN or you see these viral videos and your school is at the bottom, I am telling you what I know from personal experience. It is bad, and it's typically somebody is going to pay that price. It's typically going to be the person watching the video, the person in charge. Don't let it be you. Let's do something about it. Hope these things help. This is the dialogue we have to have. This is a full training day talking about this topic, breaking these behavior violations down. What exactly suspension in school? What are we doing? How do the programs need to look to rehabilitate conduct, to help kids? Which kids we can help? Which kids we cannot? This is the training. This is the discussion that I believe will help you get where you want to go. Dr. Jackson here, very passionate about this, but because I'm safety security is something that I have people under my care who hurt people. And it's always my job as the therapist, when a judge wants to know, is this kid rehabbed and can he go back to the world? I can't look at that judge if I'm not sure and I don't think that, the kid's ready. If I sign him out anyway and the kid goes out there and hurt people, I'm not going to have that on me, because I've had families confront me when I'm trying to sign a kid out who shot a family member of theirs. I had a victim once confront me at court who one of my kids shot her and robbed her. She lost her baby. Her life changed. And it was her and her brothers in that court lobby. And she came up to me and said, "You're that Dr. Jackson guy?" Because she said they just kept throwing your name around. Dr. Jackson's been on the case. Well, right? She confronts me. She's been shot. She's lost her baby. And she says, well, what have you done to him that can ensure he don't do this to nobody else? She's got 3 brothers with her. See, this is real. This is not a game with me. See, those families, when them families come up to the school, that's real. And so I have a responsibility to people. And all I said to her was, "Ma'am, I can't. All I can tell you is I gave him education and a conscience." She accepted that because I was ethically honest, and my heart was, I felt her, and I was not going to disrespect her with them lies and that foolishness. I gave the boy a conscience. He got him his diploma. He knows better. He's aware of the foolishness. He's grown. I don't know what he's going to do with his future. I don't see, and I said I can't see into him like that because he's been locked up a long time. He's a teenager. He's been with me 5 years, okay, because he did that as a kid, and we had to keep him till 19. So, it's serious. So you got to know, you have to know, and that's what I'm saying to you. So as administrators, let's sit down. Let's get some clarity on. Let's talk behavior. Let's get into this stuff. Let's don't just go with policies. We need to understand what our policies are saying, and we need to have ramifications or preventionary. That's not a word, I made it up, but prevention in place that kind of prevents or discourages this type of conduct. And that's what we want to go for. So listen, share this video with your coworkers. Talk this over at your cabinet meetings. It's time to do something. It's time for action. If you know I can help you, by all means, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.